Hi FlossTube friends, this is Robin. Welcome back to my channel, Lady Robins. And as I say every time, I am Lady Robins also on Instagram, so if you want to follow me in two places, you got two choices, right? It is Tuesday, it is the 2nd of March, and we're here to talk about cross stitch. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am thrilled that you're here. And if you're a returning subscriber, I'm just as thrilled that you're here as well. I am excited to show you what I got up to this week in terms of stitching. I, of course, have got whips to show you. I have half FFOs to show you. I don't know what happened, you guys. I started FFOing stuff and then I kind of lost my mojo, so I'm just going to show you where I'm at. And as we like to do on this channel, let's have our mug of the week, shall we? Last time I showed you a Disney mug, and you're getting another Disney mug. I was just grabbing the mug that was in the front of the cabinet, and we got this guy. This is the second Disney California Adventure mug. So, and today we actually, I don't think you can see it because I've already been slurping it up, I have got myself a yummy vanilla latte. So that's my beverage for this morning. We have got a beautiful day outside here in Seattle. It's a little overcast, but the news people this morning said it will burn off and we might have a little sunshine. We might even get up to almost 50 degrees, which sounds great to me. I love those sunny days. That's for me. I am not a snow and ice fan, so I am glad to see that part of our season get out of here. I like it when the tulips come up. That's my favorite flower. And I just can't wait for all those spring flowers to show up. So, speaking of spring flowers, I've got a little bit of spring inspired stitching to show you. I didn't think I was going to have a second new start in March, but I just couldn't help myself. Let me show you what inspired me this week. I love the freebie charts by the Snowflower Diary. They're, what is it? Joy-Filled World. I think that's what the series is called. It's an old one. It's free. It's on her blog. If you need to find the charts, just Google Snowflower Diaries and her blog will come up and then you can find all the charts. But anyway, I have been walking past this in my hallway. This is January, right? I haven't stitched February, and it occurred to me that March is like knocking on the door. So on Friday, I decided I should really sit down and stitch March. And so I started the March edition of the Joy-Filled World by Snowflower Diaries, and I've been stitching on this for 3 days. And it's stitching up really super cute. Because it's a freebie, I can show you the pattern. So I still have quite a few flowers to fill in, and I still need to finish off this wonderful border. I've got the outline almost finished, but each of these, these little squares are filled in with a color. It's very Art Deco. At least that's what I think of when I see those corners, and I love a good Art Deco. So anyway, that's what inspired me this week. So I just stitched the last 3 days. This is all I've been stitching on. Whoops. I've been stitching on this, and I did do a color conversion on the legs and the beak of, I don't know what that bird is. In my head I was going to say pelican, but it's not a pelican. Anyway, whatever that yummy bird is, I didn't like the color that the designer had charted for the legs. It was much more muted, and I'm like, Nope, I want great big, wonderful pink, almost flamingo-like legs. So I just dug into my stash, and then of course, so that it matched, I swapped out the color in this flower, and then these little bits down at the bottom. I'm just gonna keep on stitching on this because I want to finish, and I want to swap out January off my little easel there, my little frame, and put March up. So that is a new start and a plan for what I'm gonna work on next week. I hope you guys had a good week. It was a pretty good week around here. One of the things that is making me really happy, if you've been here before, you know that I have a couple of medical issues. I have a stent running from my kidney to my bladder, probably a TMI, sorry guys, but I got that exchanged yesterday. I'd been feeling really cruddy, and oh my gosh, I've got my new stent in, and I'm like full of energy and raring to go. So if I'm talking 100 miles an hour, that's why, because I feel good. Okay, enough of that nonsense. What else did I stitch on? Of course, I've got my tracker where I wrote down. This is from 24 Hours of Cross Stitch. It's her monthly calendar. I print it out every month. I love doing it. So the other things that I got up to this week is I stitched on Harbor Haven, and I was just working on the leaves at the top of the tree. So you can see I think when last we met, I think I got that leaf filled in, and I started on that one and didn't get too far. So, but what that means though is my Whip Go goal of stitching on Harbor Haven for 5 days, I finished it. So I did complete my Whip Go goal on Harbor Haven this month. So yay! That makes me really happy. So that was the one of the other things that I stitched on this month. And I always forget to talk about fabric and floss, but in my show notes, I always list what I'm stitching on if I'm doing it 2/2, which is usually what I do. That's kind of my jam. But I just spotted my card, so I can try to tell you that I am stitching on a week's linen. It's in the color Sea Foam, and it's a 32 count, so I am stitching 2/2 on that linen. I'm using almost all the called for flosses. I switched out the watercolors. I didn't think they were bright enough, and if you know me, I love a good pop of bright color, and so I switched those out. I'll list what my color conversions are in my show notes for the water if you're at all interested. And that was one of the other things that I stitched on this week. I also got back to my Waffle Lot Sal. And this is a chart that came in the Black Needle Society Date with Your Stitching box. That's what it was. So it's an exclusive chart to that box. And I got quite a bit done. I got all of the Love You a Lot filled in, and I'm starting to work on the waffling, for lack of a better term, on that one. And I'm having, I think I say it with every piece, I'm having a good time stitching this. And I'm doing this on 32 count, I think it's antique white, Zweigart based linen. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing overdyed. I just wanted white, and that's what I went for. So, I have decided that I'm totally gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna do the top and this is the back and then the side piece. So I've got quite a bit of stitching still ahead of me on this piece. I'm here for it. I'm okay with that. Who cares, right? Stitching is stitching and it makes me happy. And the only thing that doesn't make me happy is having too many whips. I'm finding that when I start something, I kind of have a little anxiety attack almost, because I'm like, Robin, you have so many whips, you're never going to get them all done before you die. And I haven't taught a niece or a nephew or a son or a husband to stitch, so I don't know who's going to finish all this stuff if I don't. So I gotta tamp down the new starts at least for now, because I'm feeling a little anxious that I've got too many. But speaking of new starts, of course I had to have a birthday start because my birthday was the 15th of February. So I started my Owl Forest Hyperborea. And if you are stitching on an Owl Forest piece, feel free to join my SAL. I am doing Robin's Owl Forest SAL. Yep. So join me. And what I am working on here, I think that's upside down. In fact, I know it is. I started this smack dab in the middle of the fabric, and this is also a 32 count, stitching 2/2. And so that is the owl. And I gotta tell you, okay, you guys, if you know, shoot me a message in the comments. The needle that they included with this kit, I love. And I've never seen one quite like it. It has a really small eye at the top and then a longer shaft. It is the nicest needle. It just fits my stitching style. I stitch in hand. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. And I keep thinking, well, I probably could, shoot Owl Forest a question and ask them. I'm assuming that they would tell me. But if you guys happen to know, let me know in the comments. I don't know what it is about that needle. I have stitched with all sorts of different needles, and I've kind of latched onto the French Bowen needles. I like those a lot. That's what I usually stitch with. But there's something about this Owl Forest needle with that shorter eye and the longer shaft that really rocks my boat. I don't know what it is, but if you do, let me know. So anyway, that's Hyperborea, and I got the best tip from Erin, who, if you're not watching her FlossTube channel, Perpetual Projects, you need to. She has wonderful projects, and I was complaining last time that because I don't usually do a center start, but I figured since I didn't cut the fabric and give myself, lots of room, I wanted to make sure it would fit on the piece, and I know it will, because, Owl Forest wouldn't stay in business if they sent out kits where, oh my gosh, I'm flashing the chart, sorry. They wouldn't send out kits where, the piece wouldn't fit on the linen, right? So, but anyway, just to make sure, I did a center start, and then I'm working up, I'm stitching from the bottom of the tail up to the top of the head, which makes my brain hurt. And I kept having, I made mistakes and I had to frog, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Erin left me a comment, and I also went and watched her FlossTube, and she said, if you're, stitching from the bottom up and it's giving you problems, turn it upside down, turn it around, turn your chart around, and then you're going to be stitching from the top down, which is what I like to do. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out myself, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Since I've done that, I have not had to frog. And I had to frog almost half of his body because I got it off. And so these cute little chest markings, for lack of a better term, were all wrong. And flipping it this way, oh my gosh, brilliant. Erin, you solved my problem. Thank you. I I can't tell you. This week I have done that on a number of my stitching. I've just been able to kind of whip right along because of that brilliant idea. I'm sure others have had it before, but I'd never thought of that. Man, that works out slick. So anyway, that's Hyperborea. And no, the project bag doesn't quite match Hyperborea, but I started it in winter, so good enough, right? Okay, so those were the only 4 things that I stitched on this week, but that was plenty. But then I decided, I got a wild hair that I should FFO 2 things, and I started working on both of them. And I finished neither of them, but I got them half started, so I thought, I'm going to show you where I got to. So hold on while I go off screen for just a second. So I stitched this little freebie from Helen D. and Shamrocks, Rainbows, Leprechauns, and Pot of Gold. And so I started making a cute little pillow, and I got the pillow all made. I've got my opening for turning it inside out, and then for stuffing it. I got about a third of the way done stuffing it, and then I lost my momentum. I just need to finish it up and close, do a little ladder stitch to close up the bottom, and it'll look great. But yeah, I have half an FFO. If you're new here to FlossTube, we love acronyms. FFO stands for a fully finished object. And that's when you take a finished piece of cross stitch and you turn it into a something. You know, like this. You make a pillow, you put it in a frame to put up on the wall, do whatever it is you do with it. So anyway, this is my half an FFO. One thing I did learn, a 2-inch seam on something this, or a 2-inch hole on something this big is not enough. I struggled like crazy trying to turn it out. I guess that's what you say. You turn it out, right? Anyway, 2 inches was not enough, and in fact, I don't know if you can see it, but I actually frayed my fabric as I was turning it. So, got to get a little what is that fabric glue? Fray check. I gotta put a little fray check on it, and then let that dry when I get it finished and stuffed. But there's an almost FFO. The video with the almost FFOs, right? And then the other thing that I've been working on is finishing my Christmas Carol Sal from a Stitching Book Club. So, there's the stitching all done, and I'm going to put it in this frame, and I got a piece of fabric, but what I'm struggling with is I don't think I like the frame. So, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to paint this white, and then maybe distress it just ever so slightly, because right now, when I look at this, all I see is the frame. I don't want the frame to overpower the stitching. So, I've got my backing fabric in there, but I can, it's not sealed, it's not sealed in. I can pop it out, but I think I'm going to try, maybe painting this white, and then I'll, mount my finished stitching, of course, on mat board, and then I'll magnet it into here, but the frame is kind of throwing me off. It's the right size. I like the size. And in fact, it's got a lip on it. I don't know. I might even take the lip off it. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so I had a couple of days where I horsed around in here working on FFOing things, and I didn't finish anything. But I got some starts. So hopefully I can get a little more progress. And the other thing that's nice about the weather getting a little warmer is last weekend when I was all hot and bothered to finish the Christmas Carol Sal. It wasn't very warm out. It was like in the low 40s. And I said to my husband, do you think the paint will dry? And he goes, well, eventually it'll dry. I'm like, well, I don't want eventually. I want it now. So that kind of stopped me from working on this one a little bit, because I'm an instant gratification girl. I like things to come together and, anyway, I just decided, I'll just wait. But those are my 2 half FFOs to show you. Have you ever seen a FlossTuber show half FFOs? I don't think I have. Maybe I'm a first. Maybe I'm going to start a trend. Okay, so that's what I did this week. I did go through quickly here and tallied up that in the month of February, I stitched on 8 different pieces, which is fun. I can't remember what I did in January. I think I had a couple more pieces that I stitched on in January, but that's okay. 8 was good. And I had 2 new starts. So I started the Hyperborea and the March Snowflower Diaries. So those were my 2 starts. And I did have 1 finish, if you recall. I finished my Jeanette Douglas cute little pillow. And I did accomplish my Whip Go goals. I did 5 days on Harbor Haven, and the other one that was called for February was playing with jacks, and I think I pulled that. I did play with, I did stitch on playing with jacks, and I got my 5 days in on that one. So that one is moving along nicely. And then the other thing, oh, wait a minute. Wait. You know what? I lied. I had 3 starts. I also started the Sense and Sensibility piece from the Stitching Book Club. Aha! See, I had lots of starts. But that's okay, because this is a Sal, and it will not last forever. So that is where I'm at, and I didn't do anything on this one this week. But that was my 3rd start for February. So I did end up with three starts in February. Oh well. I'm gonna get March Snowflower Diaries done, so I won't be hanging around. So we'll be okay. Okay, so my plans for this week is to get going on what was called on Whip Go. So this, if you're unfamiliar with Whip Go, it's kind of like cross stitch bingo, and you create a bingo board, and you put in the names of your whips, works in progress, right? And so the numbers that were called for March were 10 and 24, I believe. And it doesn't really matter what the numbers are, but what was called for me was Summer Snapperland, which I haven't stitched on in forever. So I am super excited to be working on this. This is a 4-piece series by Bent Creek. And when last we looked at Summer Snapperland, that's where I got to. So I'm going to be working on Summer Snapperland for Whip Go in March, which will be super fun. I've actually done one of the other Snapperlands, and I'm excited to be working on the second one. So there is, I think this is, was this number 10? Doesn't matter. Like I said, doesn't matter what the numbers are. So this is one that is going to be worked on for March. And then what got called for my second Whip Go piece is one I've already worked on this year. Cinnamon Stars, you guys, is coming back. Yay! So I am thrilled to be back to Cinnamon Stars. So we'll get another 5 days on Cinnamon Stars. We'll get 5 days on Summer Snapperland, and we'll see where we get to, which will be super fun. I'm excited with those being called for WIPGO. I did repeat a couple of things, obviously, as you can tell, on my WIPGO board. I put Cinnamon Stars on there twice. Harbor Haven might be on there 3 times. And I think Playing with Jacks is also on there twice. And I don't know if Summer Snapperland got a repeat. I'll have to look at my WIPGO board. But that's what I'm gonna get up to. I think I'm gonna start with stitching on Summer Snapperland this week. I'm excited to do that. So I'm gonna finish March Snowflower Diaries. I'm gonna get going on Summer Snapperland, and I think I'm gonna break out Sense and Sensibility, because I think might be this weekend when part 2 of that sale drops. So I want to be up to date. So I think with those three whips, that's plenty of stitching. Plus, I do really want to finish up Stuff in My Pillow and finishing that up, and that won't take me too long. So finish the pillow, do those 3 whips. Those are kind of my plans, my stitchy plans for the week. And then the other thing I just wanted to tell you about really quick, you guys, this is kind of the end of the stitching plans and the stitching update. I have no haul to show you. I can't believe it. 2 weeks in a row I haven't purchased any charts or patterns or any of that stuff. So that actually feels good to me, to not be accumulating stuff. Plus, we all know Stitching Expo is coming this weekend, and I've already seen a couple of things that are intriguing me, but I don't feel like I get to make extravagant purchases when I have so many whips going. So I'm trying to hold myself in check. But what I've got here really quick is I was contacted by Stitchly, or maybe it's stitch.ly. I'm not sure how they say it. Anyway, they asked me if I would be willing to look at their beginner box and give them my impression. And so it's available for purchase on Amazon. They, I didn't pay for the box. They paid for the box. It was shipped to me through Amazon. And anyway, I just wanted to quickly tell you that if you have a new stitcher, this is a pretty cool kit, and I would recommend it for a new stitcher. It comes with a cross stitch guide. It tells you exactly how to do it. It comes with 5 different patterns, and the first pattern is a printed. It's printed on the Ada. And once you stitch it, then you dunk it in warm water, and this all disappears. So that's cool. It comes with the Ada fabric for the other pieces. It comes with 37 bobbinated DMC flosses. It comes with scissors. It comes with needles and 2 threaders, and I've already stolen 1 threader because I needed it. I did tell Stitchly the only thing that I did not like about their kit was the needles. They are super long, and they are really super sharp, really pointy. They are not they're not your typical cross stitch needles, and I think for a young stitcher, I think you could end up with tears and blood. So I told them that if it were me, if I was going to give this kit to a brand new stitcher, especially a young stitcher, I would swap out the needles. And they said they've had that comment from other people that have reviewed their box. And so, they are planning on swapping out the needles on future boxes. So I thought that was great that they are very receptive to constructive criticism. And then the other thing it comes with is 3 beautiful hoops, which you could either stitch in the hoops or you could use as finishing for finished projects. So anyway, I just thought I'd share with you that that I got this Stitchly box. It's they're in Ireland. The gal that I communicated with on Instagram couldn't have been lovelier. So if you need a box for a younger stitcher, I wouldn't hesitate. It's really a great value, especially all those flosses, and they're bobbinated, you guys. I'm still sitting here with unbobbinated floss from my extravaganza at Joann's. I haven't made much progress on that. So I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, you guys, I am not reading anything new. I'm still finishing my cozy mystery set in Leavenworth, Washington. Oh, I did finish listening to Sense and Sensibility, read by Rosamund Pike. It was lovely. I am now heading towards Pride and Prejudice, also read by her. So that's new for me in terms of audiobooks. But that's it. You guys have a great, great week. I will catch you next week, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you're thinking about my stitching. If I'm doing good, if you think I'm making mistakes, let me know. And also, I know that a lot of people are participating in March Madness, which looks like a lot of fun. I didn't quite get my show together, so I am not going to do March Madness. I'm just going to continue with WIPGO because that's helping me get lots of stuff done. But if you are participating in March Madness, have fun. I am here for helping you select which pieces win in your brackets. I'll be checking those Instagram stories. And if you're curious about what March Madness is all about, check out the video put out by the Steel City Stitchers. They can tell you all about filling out brackets and doing that fun stuff. I thoroughly enjoy their videos. Okay, you guys, have a good afternoon, and I will see you later. Stitch happy, my friends. Bye.